Thank you, Ulf. That was a great presentation of the Protestants of the world, I think. I've never heard that one before. And anyway, I've followed this organization since the 1970s, when I was having a lecture in Paris about the industrialization of Africa. That was the first visit for me in this organization. So I followed Ulf and I followed the Swedish friends in this way. And it's very nice to come to Berlin and hear what you are doing and dealing with you, what I have been doing as an architect. And I am a professional architect and drawing houses and making plans and giving strategies for the future. That is really my profession. Now I'm a pensionist, so I can do just what I want. The money coming in, you know, that's a good time. I recommend you to be pensionists, all of you. Then you can really change the world, and that's what I'm doing. At least, I'm no Atlas, I'm no Jupiter, I haven't shoulders like them, but I have the hope. I have the way of thinking. That's the way to change the world in my concept. So, as an architect, I've been developing a way to maintain politics, physics, intellectual and emotional parameters of objects, of planning objects, of construction objects. So there are 4 parameters in my world that I have used for these situations where I am not satisfied what is happening in the world. And I'm a man born in Stockholm, living there, and then suddenly my mother, she divorced, and she remarried in the United States, so we went to the United States, the mother and myself, and I couldn't the language. I was 7 years old, I just had started school in Sweden. What do I do? Well, you have to go to school, young man, was the answer, of course. So the teacher should draw on some pictures and wrote the words, so I have to learn the language, of course. And you 7 years, it goes very quickly. So in a few months, I was, no problem, really going to school in New York. I lived in New York and the surroundings. That made me and then I returned after some years to Stockholm and Sweden, and I came in the streets, and what are they doing, these Swedes? They are looking in the windows on, what is it, televisions? Oh, they're discovering televisions. In the United States, 18 channels of cowboys and things just for the children. What? Oh, they're learning new things, interested. I want to show them. I had my beautiful Dodgers, Brooklyn Dodgers, the baseball team, a shirt, silk shirt, silk jacket really, about the Silk Road. I'm coming to the Silk Road. So just wait, I'll be there. And I showed them there is another world. There is something in the United States about people coming together, people trying to create something with their differences, joining together the differences, and that was the great teaching, really, I think I had early in life. So when there are problems in the world, I want to help in some way, and I think everyone can help. Everyone has a mentality, has a responsibility of being a world citizen. I'm a world citizen, and everybody is a world citizen and a child of God. We are all the same. We are together in this world, and the youngsters have it easy. They have the same shoes, they listen to the same music, but we are a bit older, we others. But we can learn of them that it's time for the future to come now. So when there is problems, like a war in Bosnia, like a war in Congo, like a war in Syria, I'm there. I want to try to do something with what I can do. And as a father, I have 2 children and 6 grandchildren. and a mother of 96. I'm going to be 200 years of age, I say, just to inspire her to be some more than 96, and my children also to inspire them to live a good life, so you can help humanity. That should be your job, young man, young woman. So that's my aim to what has been destroyed, what do we have to do to not continue the destruction of the world, of what we learn in school. As an architect, I learn how to build, to put things together and to make beautiful things for people to live a good life, be happy, and to like each other. But I haven't learned how to destroy. Why? Are there differences really in the destruction and the construction? What is this all about, the world? Why don't we, in the military, when I was in the military, we had a parliament in the military organization for who were, what do you call värnplikt?
Drafted.
Yes.
Drafted, you were not.
Yes. We had an organization of all military youngsters coming inside, and I asked in this parliament, why don't we learn about peace? Why do we just learn how to shoot people? Why to destruct? What's the use of this? Isn't the military for making peace for Sweden? It was very quiet. Hoo-hoo. No answer. We just accepted that there is destruction, and I can't accept that. I don't accept the violence against anyone. I don't accept destruction in Syria. Why should I? Why should you? Why should anyone accept this? We are responsible of what is happening all the time, and then we can do something. Then we can inspire each other. Then we can think of the future. And if we don't, there will be no future. It's up to you. It's really up to us all to think about the future, and then it will come. Because if you don't, then you're a victim of those who have the guns, those who shoot, those who destruct. That shouldn't be your problem. That shouldn't be your work. So in Bosnia, I'll just talk a bit about Bosnia. Bosnia is, and after Syria, I will also read a poem. Yes, I want to be a cultural person. I try very much to be also a cultural, aesthetic person, because I am an architect, a planner, and also an artist in some way. So this was Syria. This was Bosnia. Sarajevo now is called. There were bombs, there were shooting in the area of Sarajevo. Is a river going, and Sarajevo means Sarai or Vasi in their language, in the Bosnian. And I have a name of myself, because I'm not just Gregor everywhere. I want to be somewhere, have a name where I come. So Galib Alibegovic is my name in Bosnian Muslim way. Now you know, Bosnian name. And I want a name in Berlin, and I want a name everywhere, because I have to change my personality so that I can cooperate with you when I come there. So you give me a name, and I will try to live up to this. Anyway, this is Sarajevo, and we're shooting, there was destruction, there were like outside Damascus, where I've been with Ulf, and so I've seen of course, the television, the horrible things. There were horrible things in this town as well, and it was a Muslim town mostly, but there was the mixture of the Jewish, of the Christians, of the Muslims in this town before the war. And it was a brother war, like in Syria, I think. The brothers are fighting, and they are helping each other, and they are destructing each other, and they are all the same families, really. They are intermarried, and they are connecting really since way back in time. And the time, well, from the time when people went from Africa, that's 70,000 years ago about, and they have gone in waves, many waves, and they have died, and there are many new waves from Africa, and they went to India, to Australia, to Europe, to North Africa, and North America, and South America. So every one of us have been our forefathers has passed this point of the world, from Africa, spread out in all directions, coming to all parts of the world, all the continents. And when I see the history of geology, yes, all the continents have been together 3 times, Rodinia, Notonia, and Pangaea. So the life has been spread, has been concentrated and spread, and concentrated and spread, and so we have been developing from this, partly the same areas from the beginning, the African. And this we can read about in our genes, of course. And the genetics today, they can help us describe that we are the same, all of us. So this was Bosnia. This was the fight about having the Muslims get out of Europe. I really think this was a Christian problem. This was a Christian attitude of not accepting, trying to get rid of the religious people in that sense. In Congo, there was the Burundi, Rwanda, and the Kivu province in the middle of Africa, quite another situation. And we had lots of both Bosnians coming to Sweden and also Africans coming to Sweden and lived 25 years there and well established and so on. But when the war happened, they needed help to understand what was really going on. So we made a conference, and Ulf was the translator by then. I having a lecture about the possibilities, the resources of Congo. You know, there are not just jungle there are good agricultural possibilities that's outstanding, and there are minerals, and the great companies are taking down every possibility of developing this, really. They are the big guys of doing bad things, holding the whole of Africa back. Anyway, that's one of my occupations, and in that sense, I made a conference. That was the organization with a Swedish developing agency and the African Swedish organization. In Bosnia, I said that we had by then unemployed architects. So I made the first group of unemployed architects, youngsters that wanted to learn more and perhaps could get a job when they have learned about this. And I was the project leader, so I went to the employment agency and said, I can be a project leader for this. Give me some people that have interest in helping in some way. So we made this report about Sarajevo, and I was down there. I wrote poetry, and I met people, and I met what is called the Hungarian George Soros people there, of course. They are everywhere. They are the problem, part of the problems, really. And they were there in the town hall, of course, but I made meetings with different people about what was the planning situation, what was the destruction like, how could we organize the reconstruction when it was over. And when we went there by plane from Zagreb, we had these security vests and a helmet, of course. When the plane was going down to Sarajevo, they said, don't have your vest on, sit on it, because sometimes they shoot from the underside to the airplane. But lucky day, they didn't shoot anything. So I had to go there, and I was the advisor to the Swedish ambassador about the new embassy. That was my official subject to deal with. I was young then. Today in Syria, I'm older and I'm wiser. I know. I've tried to tell my children at least that I am wiser. And because when you get older, you know that what is useful and what is not really useful, what you should try to forget when you're older, and because you have to learn new things. So that's why I'm here. I'm learning, and I want you to make me learn what you are thinking about, and what you want, and what you feel about the situation in Syria. Myself, I've studied as much as I can the last 2 years. I studied economy, and I studied poetry in Syria, and I studied arts, and I've organized people in Stockholm. We have about 100,000 Syrians in Sweden that been here lots of time, but also new ones coming. So that I try to look for people who want to work with the reconstruction in any way. That's my idea about doing something useful for this. And of course I've been in Damascus, and that was fantastic, really. My mother, the 96-year-old woman, she has been there, of course, and in Baghdad. And so I had to go there, not just her. I had to do something in her footsteps. So it was very interesting and very, very inspiring to know that the people are such a nice people. During these 70,000 years that people have walked out of Africa in the world through Syria, they had also had their layers of culture. The layers of building, the layers of singing, the layers of the 1001 Nights sagas, for instance, and the dances, and there are such a lot of humanity here, and such a lot of beauty. This beautiful woman, for instance, now. But anyway, there are very beautiful ladies in this country, and it's really. They ask me, and they just go up and ask me, "What do you think of me?" They say when I came to Syria, and I suppose it's about my own experience and my own look. But anyway, and they look about like the Nefertiti in the tomb of Egypt. So beautiful, fantastic combination of personality. It's interesting, just this one. And anyway, the construction of Syria, when I said to Ulf, I want to make a project and I want to call it the Phoenix. He said, first I had another name, but we chose the word Phoenix because he wasn't satisfied with my first name. Phoenix, why? It's the bird that comes to ashes and with gold wings fly up again and gets renewed. It's like the Christian idea of resurrection, about being newborn, and I'm newborn every day, and so are you. We're all newborn. We have all the new possibilities every single day to do something else than we have done. So you have the future in your hands. It's just your own will that is hesitating. But the future is yours. And this is what Syria, I think, is. And I've heard about people being there also. There is a softness, there is a loveness, there is a beauty that's outstanding because of these historical, cultural levels and this situation between the three continents, Africa, Asia and Europe. It's a great possibility for the Silk Road, just being here in the middle of everything. I think it's a very dynamic possibility for us all to reconnect to our own roots, our own human roots, which we all share with each other. So that's my my reason to make a program, and it's about the reconstruction, the physical reconstruction, but it depends on the politics, of course, and the techniques and the culture and the future and the physical structures. And the hope. It's for the hope. It's for the recreation of the hope we have lost. That we have accepted the destruction and the murdering and whatever is going on there. It's not acceptable. So please do something with this. Now I'll stop my speech with the poem. So this is a very modern poem, I should think. And it leaves some feelings for you between the lines. So there are sentences that you should perhaps, if you're open, take with you and think about and communicate with your dear ones around yourself and the professionals you meet and people in the Syrian interest. And I call it the Phoenix Sayings. It's about the Phoenix Project, of course, and the Phoenix Bank, and the Phoenix idea of what Syria can be again and again. And probably it's like 60 times there have been invasions in Damascus, for instance. There have been people coming and people going all the time. They're used to this, really. It's not the first time. Like we in Stockholm, we're not used to being invaded. We haven't been invaded any time. I'm sorry to say, we don't know how to do this. That's why we can't accept this. We don't think it's normal. Anyway, I call it really the Phoenix or Sphinx. I think also it's a Sphinx way, a Sphinx of having the memory. I think the stone, I'm also sculpturing in limestone. The stone has the memory. Limestone has the memory of 500,000 million years about. So they have seen so much, the stones. The innate is the guts of everything that has happened in 500 million years. The Samas, the nomads we have in northern Sweden, in Russia and Finland, they say the old ones, they go into the mountains. This is what I believe too. The stones have so much memory. It's for us to discover this memory and take responsible for the future. Mother Arabia waits for you. Sister Syria is longing, suffering, hoping. No souls of ignorance, nomads of experience. Others are our dear friends, inverting realities, coveting knowings, reverting beauties, intruding through truths, invading hopes, encroaching loves. From the bottom of our heart, from all sand outran, from the solar eclipses, from coldness wrapping us, from warmness longing us. Love is tenderly, love is totally, love is godly. We are the Sphinx, Phoenix, wings of gold, ready to fly again. We are all the futures. We are the recreating Syria. We are the children of the world. We are the peoples of the universes. Mother, now violently metaphorizing Arabia, be daughter Syria reborning. Thank you.